guys. Yo. Yo. Okay, guys. Okay. Now, before we get into this video proper, yeah, let me tell you something weird that just happened right now. Yeah. So, I have just finished filming this entire video. Yes, from start to finish. I've just finished. Yeah. Only for me to try to replay it, you know, to see what I've just done. Then I realized that there was no audio. I did not turn on my microphone. Oh God. I see here, this is not the first time. This is not the first time. Something like this actually happened in week 1. I was done filming an entire 30 minutes video. Yep. Only for me to want to edit, because I was done, and then almost immediately I tried to just go through what I did, and then I checked and I realized that there was no audio. Okay, there was audio, but my microphone receiver was not properly plugged into my device. It was hectic. I almost lost my mind. And so something like that just happened again right now. Right now. Let me breathe. Shit happens, right? But we move. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to another video. Yes, on this video, we're going to be talking about Zita's verdict, or should I call it Biggie's verdict on Zita's assault on Rulebook. Yes, I promised you all this video from my previous one where I told you all that I will be analyzing the whole situation. All right, so this is what we're going to be doing right now on this video. Okay, but before we get into it, quick reminder, guys, today 3 p.m. WAT, we're going to be converging here for our community gathering. There's a lot to unpack, and I cannot wait to see all of you. Yes, so please make it a date with us. Make sure you come through. Do not miss out. I look forward to hosting each and every single one of you. All right, now quickly back to Zita's situation. So yesterday, Biggie had issued his verdict on what had transpired between Zita and Rulebook. He had played the clip over and over again for the housemates to see clearly what had actually happened. And a lot of the housemates were actually shocked. They were shocked, yes. But then, quite annoyingly, some of them were laughing. And I just want to presume that they were laughing because of Menson's reaction, yeah. Because they have this habit of, every time Big Brother is playing a clip, to show where maybe 1 or 2 or more of them have actually violated the rule, you find out that instead of them to be in a sober mood, you find out that they are laughing. And then I was looking at Menson. Menson was saying that she has apologized. And I'm like, what's wrong with these people? Is it that there's something loose in people's brain? Like, what you're supposed to take serious, you don't take serious. Anyways, Big Brother had quoted, as usual, section 15 of his rule book. And Gloria Elijah found it quite kind of funny. Yeah, funny because I was laughing. I'm not going to lie. I was laughing. I was shaking my head. And I was doing all of those things because we know that a lot has actually happened this season that Big Brother did not address. Right from the very start of this season, I told you all that I am not particular about strikes or disqualifications. As a matter of fact, if I had my way, I wouldn't want for any housemate to be disqualified this season. Why? Because the selection was just so premium and excellent. And for me as a viewer and analyst of the show, I just really want to get the fullest experience from these housemates, right? And I know that sometimes the fullest experience also involves housemates catching strikes or getting disqualified from the show, yes. But then we cannot also dispute the fact that when disqualifications happens or when strikes becomes very frequent in any season, it tends to water down the performances of the housemates. Yes, it tends to water down their how do I put it? It tends to water down how liberal they become in the house. A lot of them begin to box themselves. A lot of them begin to not want to really go all out to take risk or do the most, right? And this season says do the most. So I wasn't really particular about strikes or disqualifications. But then again, if there was one thing I said that regardless, Big Brother needs to, from time to time, call to order these housemates whenever they are overdoing the most. We know that they have been instructed to do the most, right? But some of them tend to overdo the most. So whenever such happens, it is up to Big Brother to call them to order, right? And sometimes issue out punishment, to just tend to clip their wings a bit, right? But then it was quite sad that this entire season, a lot has actually happened and only a few housemates got called out. Only a few housemates got punishment. Others literally walked away freely. And even currently in the house, we have the likes of Kola, who still whispers, who still speaks in low tones. And no matter how much we complain, people that act as if he cannot hear us. So what's my own? At the end of the day, it's not my show, it's not my house, yes. But aside Kola, there's also Imisi that speaks Yoruba like it's the language of communication in the house, and people that does not say shit about it. Now, for that one, I know that I said in the first few days of the show where she was ranting in the kitchen and then she was speaking in Yoruba, I said, oh wow, that this is premium entertainment and I would love to see more of that. So if it was in such a situation, it would make more sense. But then in communicating with her fellow housemates, she literally communicates in Yoruba most of the time. And it gets really annoying because it's not only Yoruba people that watches the show. So Biggie, what's the deal? So a lot of things like that has happened and Big Brother just literally turn a blind eye to it, and it gets really annoying. So listening to Big Brother reading out the violations under section 15 of his rulebook, I was just laughing because for me, it sounded like a joke. Yeah. It sounded like a joke because it was listing out, violations like provocations, goading, instigation, and I was looking at Big Brother like, yeah, right. Like, we don't have a lot of people that have been doing all of those things this entire season. But anyways, at the end of it all, Zita's actions was classified under I think physical violence, yes, and she was issued a double strike. Now, I felt like that was a fair verdict, yes, and the reason for that is what I have just explained. A lot has happened this seasons. There are housemates that should have even been disqualified. Till tomorrow, we are still talking about Sultana's peeing incident, yes. So there's a lot that has actually happened, and things like that were not really addressed. So it would have been very, very unfair for Zita to have been disqualified. So a double strike was okay. And even speaking about the double strike, a lot of people were quite confused as to why she got a double strike. A lot of people felt like, no, that it was not really fair, right? That maybe one strike and a punishment. And I'm thinking, what's the point of a punishment when the show is almost over? Instead of them to be having fun, why should she be suffering herself and observing a punishment when there are other people that are still in the house that are yet to even catch a punishment for the nonsense that they do? Now, let me explain what I believe is the reason for her to have gotten a double strike. Now, just like Bright Morgan, who had assaulted Kai and Kumi the first time and people that did nothing about it, but then the second time he had actually punched Faith, he had been issued a double strike, yes. Now, the reason for that is because the first time he did it, Big Brother was expecting him to exercise decorum, self-control, and caution, right? But then he did not observe any of those things. So he had gone ahead to met out physical violence again for a second time, thinking that he was going to get away with it because the first time he did get away with it. So Big Brother had issued him a double strike to cover up for the two acts. All right. Now, same thing goes for Zita. Zita had been engaged in physical violence once with Mide, I think in week 2. Yeah. And we had given a very valid excuse for why she should get away with it. Because it was a case of herself and Mide wielding kitchen utensils as weapons against each other, probably consciously or unconsciously. Right? But Zita had actually made a move to strike. Now, that had happened, Big Brother had not addressed it. So that was Big Brother giving her grace to exercise self-control, but she did not. And so she had done it again the second time, by this time, audaciously throwing a plate of food in Rulebook's face. That plate of food could have been anything. It could have been hot water. It could have been anything. But then she went ahead to do it because in her mind, oh, I did it before. Big Brother said nothing, so it's not a big deal, so I can do it again. So she had done it again, and this time around, she did not go scot-free. Hence the reason she got a double strike. So that's why I said that it's a fair judgment, all right? Another thing that really gave me so much relief was the fact that Rulebook was not called out for any reason. Rulebook was not issued a strike or a punishment. That was very, very satisfying. Yes. Because people were saying that, oh, Rulebook is a man. He assaulted a woman. And I'm like, well, you people forget that. First of all, this is a social experiment, right? And within the social experiment, there's a competition at play. When you people begin to see these housemates as equals, as contenders, as competitors, then you will understand the game. But when people, sometimes you bring in your double standard, sometimes when it suits your beliefs, you use this yardstick to measure such actions from the housemates, and then other times you use another type of yardstick to measure their actions, then your judgment becomes very skewed. There's no balance in your judgment. Rulebook is human too, aside being a man. And in that conversation, it was very clear that he was trying to make peace with Zita, but Zita was very adamant on picking a fight with him. And so she threw the first assault by pouring her plate of food in his face, despite all explanations from Rulebook and Kola. So she knew what she was doing. She did it deliberately. It wasn't premeditated, but it was deliberate. Now, Rulebook's retaliation was heavily based on reflex. It was a reflex action. It wasn't premeditated. He did not sit down and think that, oh, I'm going to deal with this girl today. No. It was a reflex action. It's like something is coming your way and boom, you just, you push, you shove. That was exactly what happened with Rulebook. And it wasn't his fault because all along in that conversation, he maintained decorum. He was quiet. He was calm, just as he was supposed to be. So yeah, overall, I was quite satisfied with Big Brother's verdict and how Big Brother handled the situation, yes. And about those two people, Rulebook and Zita, they're in a good place. They've resolved their differences. They're friends. They settled, yes. So I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Are you satisfied with Big Brother's verdict? Let me know in the comment section below. Now, quickly, moving on to the red telephone. Ladies and gentlemen, the red telephone was quite busy yesterday. Yeah, it rang twice. So the first time it rang, Coin picked up again, and he had been offered a treat for a haircut and I think facials or something, and it was to cost 1 million naira from the prize money. Coin had gladly accepted. The second time the phone rang, Kola had picked up and had been offered a luxurious manicure and pedicure session. But Kola decided to be a gentleman and reject. So he declined the offer. I love we're like, why did he decline? No, he should have accepted. So I want to hear from all of you. If you were Kola, what would you have done different? Would you have accepted the offer, or would you have, played like Kola and declined the offer? What would you have done different? Let me know in the comment section below. And finally, the housemates had a bit of a pool party last night. Now, it wasn't really like the usual pool party that Biggie throws for the housemates. No, it was just them in the pool, having fun, playing with water, playing games, nothing major, just everybody unwinding. And the housemates, some of them were literally screaming when Faith, put on his bikini, or what do they call it? Is it his swimwear? Did I say bikini? No. His swimwear, and he had joined them in the pool. It was quite nice, but Faith is still on mute mode. The guy is still mute. So I don't really know why he's mute. A part of me is telling me that Big Brother either gave him a mission to be mute, or Big Brother advised him to be mute. Guys, I don't know what it is, but we will find out, all right? But anyways, I'm going to end this video here right now. Thank you all so much for watching. Share your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys today by 3 p.m. WAT. Enjoy the rest of your day, and bye.